Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to our round 4 of our fall invitational for the MTG Paper Legacy community. I'm back, your guy Oliver B. Down below me, we got the one and only Prez BOTW. Prez, how you doing here today?
I am doing great. I've been able to see some fantastic magic. We're streaming again, even if it's first time in a while, but it's always great to be on camera here in the booth with my good friends on the mod team here and talk about some fantastic magic by some players who've been duking it out for 3 months.
I think that this is probably one of the best matches for us to watch for a potential go into finals, right? We're watching the top of the upper bracket. The winner of this event or of this match is going to be going into the final match. And because this is a double elimination, whoever makes it through the lower bracket is going to have to beat the winner of this match twice in order to take the title. We've only seen that upset once happen in all of our invitationals we've had here today, so I'm really excited. But
We've actually
also,
seen it twice.
oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Twice. I'm totally
Yeah.
wrong. But here's the thing: Tensai and Rax, out of all of the people who we have here with us, are some of the oldest players. Right?
Oh
They
yeah.
have been with us for almost every single invitational. Tensai only not making it to the first invitational by missing like 2 points in the race. But meanwhile, Rax, this being they've been to all of them, right? They've been to all
Um.
five.
Yeah, it's either been all five or I think it was three might have been missed, but otherwise, yeah, Rax has been to all five of them.
That's super, super excited. I'm incredibly excited for this. I do believe Rax is the higher seed of these players and will be going first.
Yes,
Is that
Rax is
correct?
second seed.
Height. This is going to be fantastic. We got Rax on Sneak and Show up against Tensai. For those who do not know, in terms of our invitational history, one of the most fantastic matches we have ever watched was actually these two players up against each other in a Sneak and Show mirror. Unfortunately, we don't get to see that here today. We're going to
No.
be watching two different decks kind of duke it out, but at least one of them has brought the good old Sneak and Show goodness with us.
Yeah, and that's also yeah, it was Tensai versus Rax round one of Invitational number two, which Tensai won. Mind you, the entire Invitational. So we'll see how this one goes. This might be Rax's chance for revenge here.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm hoping for it. I got a lot of love for both of these individuals, but I'm really
Oh yeah,
hoping Rax is able to take this down and show it's just how good Sneak and Show really can be.
yeah. No, it's really good. However, though, I do think that Tensai with the mono black Deadguy Ale slash mono black control deck, I think is very well positioned given this field right now. Especially as some of these other decks are starting to fall off in the lower end of the tournament there. Like, ooh.
Yeah, what's super interesting is just how good these Thoughtseize, his ILKs, hymns, and the Turok itself is going to be against Rax here in this matchup.
Yeah.
Where if Rax is able to turbo out with a real quick sneak and show or sneak attack, will be a good setup where there's no real way to deal with that once the threat's in play. You're more than likely going to be able to make it. Of note, show and telling or show of telling in a Grizzlebrand is the one card that we really have to fear here is the sudden edict, right? The sudden
Oh
edict
yeah.
is also absolutely lights out against a lot of potential draws here, just because it is uncounterable. Thank you, split second, the
Yeah.
glorious mechanic.
Very specifically, not only is it uncounterable, you also cannot in response draw cards with Grizzlebrand.
Nope,
Very
you cannot at
specifically.
all. You need to so if you put Grizzlebrand in play, you immediately go ahead and draw 7 every single time. You do
Yeah.
not wait whatsoever. You need to just at least cash in those cards. But that will definitely be the first card that we see being show and tell in, unless it happens to be like the show and tell in sneak attack, mana source, and go for it then in that moment. But we'll have to see. Of note, the real things to talk about with Rax's list. Rax's list is playing the Simian Spirit Guides main board, playing 2 of them, and the Rabagans or Ragavans in the sideboard. We've seen a couple of sneak attack builds be playing the monkey main board, right? Just because it's a card advantage or it's a card advantage engine at times if you're able to hit opposing cantrips, and also a mana source producer with you making lotus petals every time that it hits. We are not seeing that. This is really kind of a good old, like an olden days sneak and show build with some potential alterations in the sideboard, right? I'm not sure how accurate those are, but
Yeah. I just also kind of want to say it's kind of refreshing just seeing how diverse this metagame is, kind of with those boogeyman cards. Like, I'm not saying that they're not good or whatever else. I know they're insane, but they're not here today, and it's kind of interesting just seeing how legacy is without those cards, right?
What's the old saying though? Don't let your dreams be memes, or is it the other way around? Either way,
Don't, yeah,
imagine being the player who comes and brings Delver here with us today, right?
exactly,
Like
right?
a way to have immediately the entire audience rooting against you. And
Yeah.
it's real fun to show up with these specialty decks. Like these specific decks are kind of crafted to target the metagame that you're expecting, such as Tensai coming here today with this mono black depths slash
Yeah.
pox build.
That is actually funny, Cervantes, too. That, yeah, every single one of these decks you can tell would absolutely crush Blue Red Delver. So maybe it's a really good meta call that no one brought it.
Yeah, for real. Well, it's just like every deck had the potential answer to it, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's the Naya Reclaimer deck, or I'm sorry, the Naya Depths deck that already has like a decent match against Delver just by it being like a Mavericky style deck, but then also
Have some
also just having
Pyroblast
all
for
of the
Murktide.
pyroblasts for Murktide, which is just like strictly what that's for the most part, with also some play against control variants. But man,
Yeah.
really, really fantastic to see both players mulliganing right now. I gotta ask, who do you think's advantage in this game one? We kind of touched on it a little bit, but I just want to have those answers in.
I I actually think Tensai is going to take this game one. I think Rax has potential to have a super explosive start. However, I think that like if you go show and tell and it's not exactly a sneak attack, I have a feeling Tensai might just be like put a land in, Lily, sacrifice your creature.
Oh, that is a potential. I have to agree that I do really think Tensai is going to be the one to take this down today. I don't think
Game
there's
one
anything
for
else.
sure. I'm probably going to be wrong because I never get this right, but yeah, I think Tensai honestly is very heavily favored this game one. Game two, things are going to change up a lot, but I don't know. Honestly, I think this mono black deck's just going to crush Sink and Show, to be totally honest.
What is going on with mulligans right now? I don't actually have our table spotter up at the moment. But big thanks. We do have Astrid in with us. Astrid, another one of our mods, hasn't done anything yet today, but is jumping into table spot for this round and a couple more
Yes.
in the future. Rax has kept 7, and Tensai is continuing to mull down, going down to 6 right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, why did I jinx it? Yeah, I agree.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood, real, real quick.
I got this fancy wood desk now, so.
So, Prez, here's my question when we watch these mulligans. If I'm kind of new to the MTG Paper Legacy Discord community and I want to get involved, I see what we're doing here today. I'm like, this would be really fun to participate in. How can I do that? How can I get involved with our glorious Discord community?
So, if you type in _Discord in the Twitch chat, it will get you a link to the Discord where you can join in, hook up with the LFG channel, sign up for our monthly leagues, come participate in our weekly tournaments. We've actually been firing up a weekday tournament as well on Tuesdays. They are a blast. Again, all this is free entry. The Tuesday tournament, you don't even need deck lists for, just 3 rounds of fun. And then on the weekend tournaments, which are how you qualify for this event and the leagues, those ones, the playoffs of the league require deck lists. The pool play does not. However, the weekend tournaments do as well. They're organized up. We have one on Saturday, time for North America, and then we have one every second Sunday, time for EU and Asia as well. So
It's a lot of fun. It's really easy to kind of come into the Discord community and just start jamming some games and get invested. I definitely came in, just jammed LFG, joined in a league, and then after that, I was completely done. We were just fully invested.
yeah.
Let's see. We see turn 1 Volk pass into Urborg Thoughtseize.
So this is exactly the play that you want. Okay, so this Thoughtseize is more than likely going to resolve.
Can we also just talk about how beautiful Rax's deck is going to be as we continue to put things out? I myself am a purveyor of damage cards. I love signed cards more than anything
Damaged
else.
cards.
Rax is totally deep on this game. Actually, the one reason I really want Rax on camera is because I want to see the dazes that they play, just to see if they are the dazes that I sent to them. That's all I care about. I just want my dazes to do well. That's all. That's all that matters here.
No bias much.
Oh, I'm incredibly biased. I will tell Tensai to his face.
Yeah, so it's resolving. Oh my god. Oh,
um,
this is
you
not
take,
what you want to see if you're Tensai.
take sneak attack. There's
I
mana for
agree.
it.
You take the sneak attack here 100%. Just because that the show and tells are slow, and you have more than enough tools to deal with a slow play, like putting in a creature off the show and tell. You can just edict it.
Yeah, and specifically, you have your sudden edicts, which are also good
Yeah.
against the
Ooh,
sneak attack. But you
interesting.
also have the Lilianas, which are just additional ways to deal with Emrakul when it's put in Grizzlebrand. Of course, we'll draw the 7. Doesn't really matter too much, but
Yeah.
I
I
okay. Go and
okay.
take at least one show and tell.
Yep.
Force of
Force
will.
of will.
Yeah.
So yet not a legal target. Interesting on hiding the force of will too. But yeah, this is exactly the reason why I think Tensai's heavily favored in this game one. Oh my god. Even more. Thoughtseize number 2.
3 direct
Oh,
discard spells. Prez, you're a Canadian. Do
ow.
you say discard spells or hand attack?
Uh, I say discard spells, but that's also just because I've been I've actually heard a lot of people I know locally that I've never even thought about it until you mentioned it right now. But yeah, they all say hand attack.
That is definitely a Canadian thing all the way through.
Yeah, I don't say that, but all of my friends do apparently. Oh, sneak attack. Okay, so that was the second card down.
So
So
that brainstorm was actually like, well, we were able to hide the card that we wanted most. We were able to put the sneak attack for when we were going to have mana for it. We now need to draw threat. Also, wasteland on this red source would be amazing.
yeah, that's true. Especially because that then you have a city left. Dark Depths. Okay, that's a card. Are we
Of
gonna see a
note,
hex mage here?
of note,
Thoughtseize.
this is the coolest part. That there was no damage taken when casting that sneak attack because the ancient tomb was used for swamp mana off of the Urborg.
That's amazing.
I love it so much.
Let's
All
see.
right,
So these
is
are
it a
fresh
body?
draws. These are fresh
Body.
draws now.
I don't see an activation. We aren't slamming it. All right,
Yeah.
it's a bad card. We're passing.
Hmm. Yeah, remembering that the dice matter here.
I'll be totally honest. Every time I put a Dark Depths in play, I just put it with like a dice on 6 because it doesn't matter, and I'll correct it when I start icing it down. I just always
Yeah.
say to my opponent, "This is at 10. It probably isn't going to matter." I don't even try to do the slope like plan. I'll pass with 3 mana up all the
There's the
time.
wasteland. There's the wasteland.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
hit that
good.
volcanic island. Hit
That's
that volcanic
so
island.
good.
Oh. And what's this card?
You have,
Black. IOK again. Oh, second sneak attack.
doesn't matter.
Ooh.
You can just let him keep that in hand.
Yeah,
Like that.
the second
Just
one's
the.
useless. And
I love
Tensai on
this
mono
so much.
black, it doesn't it won't matter anyway. He has no way to remove it game 1, so game 2 he has feed this form, but game 1 he has nothing.
Do you think Feed the Storm's going to come in this matchup? I think it
I
does because of Omniscience also, right? But most of the time when Omniscience comes in, it isn't going to matter anyway.
yeah. So this is also important too because losing this red source here means that Rax needs a red source and something else. Tensai is icing down. Let's go.
My God, do this. This is exactly the game where the ice down plan could actually work, though.
Yes, I agree.
Hexmage.
Oh,
Oh, Dothy.
ooh,
That's a clock. That's a
that
faster
is a
clock than
clock.
icing down.
Yep. Hmm.
We got to see in this last round, seeing Dothy go up against land graveyard deck, just how amazing it really was.
Yeah. And with this being open decklist too, I think so. We play the island there. I actually like that, given that you don't have to worry about playing lands and you can use the city in your hand going forward there, and it allows you to cantrip too. Is
Are
he
we?
actually dark ridding to take a counter off? I love it.
I love. It's great. I hate it. I hate it. Just keep. Oh God. Whatever.
This is what
That's
happens when you
ridiculous.
have all the things.
Again, MTG Paper Legacy Discord token. We got to see one of our proxies that we hand out as prizes, both for the invitationals, for the leagues, for our weekly tournaments. Dark Ritual is not the one that we currently have in rotation. That is actually our crap rotation at the moment with Lightning Bolt coming up. But Dark Rit, one of our older ones, and Tensai flexing with his play sets of all of our Discord proxies.
Yeah. Tensai wins a lot of events.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. So Rax looks like still just drawing blanks here.
How many of those are fatties? Red source. Red
Uh-oh.
source.
Of note, though, Tensai does have mana up.
Grizzlebrand. Draw 7
Grizzlebrand.
immediately. Oh, immediately draw 7.
Yeah. Taps
Yeah. Okay,
Grizzlebrand
good.
instantly. Good call.
We haven't. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I got distracted by the spotter for a second. I thought that we were seeing that they were going to be that they immediately put 2 Grizzlebrand activations on the stack. I don't think. I think it was just 1.
Yeah. It was definitely just one there, yeah.
So
So
this being
14
open
to
deck
10.
list, Rax was aware of sudden edict, which is why we immediately jammed the 7. Just like
Yes.
don't even think about attacking yet.
Yeah. I wonder if Tensai is trying to get to a position where, excuse me, Rax just ends up trying to draw again. right? And if they end up
Oh,
trying to draw a second time, they go to 3, immediately sack it so that way they lose the life link and then just kill them with the Dothai.
no, but now there's single edict.
Oh,
Like
Emrakul as
that's
well?
so good. That's so good. I love it.
Wow.
That's great. At that
Wow,
point,
Raxanite
edict will
should
just move
pull it
Grizzlebrand.
together. Huh.
Finding the red source was so huge there, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then also being able to string together the situation where the sudden edict was never going to be relevant. Because if you could just draw 7 into second red source and Ulamog specific, or I'm sorry, Emrakul, you were going to the sudden edict just wasn't going to matter. You would just completely wipe the opponent's board. Sudden edict would no longer be live also as well. And you just like Tensai needs to make land drops, which we had seen that he wasn't previously able to make. That was
Yeah.
so cool. That was great.
Yeah, but Rax did take game 1, which looked pretty rough considering Tensai started off with 4 discard spells in a row.
It looked very, very bad. But you know what? When you draw the cards you need, you got them. Drew the fatty, drew the red source, got the 2 things that were needed, and it's done so. Let's jump into sideboarding. Let's talk about Rax first, I guess.
Yeah, so in Rax's sideboard, we got 2 copies of Grafdigger's Cage, we got 2 Ragavan Nimble Pilferer, 2 Abrade, 2 Pyroclasm, 2 Blood Moons, 2 Omniscience, a Flusterstorm, a Blue Elemental Blast, and a Red Elemental Blast. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how much you want here.
I think you won Omniscience pretty
Yeah,
pretty easily. Again, because you're going up against a sudden edict deck, I think it's exactly what you want. Namely, being able to it's a little bit difficult because the Omniscience plan requires you to have more cards in hand and you're going up against this discard deck. So
yeah,
that's the one issue with it. However, I think that you are able to bring it in just because it is a way to go around this sudden edict threat that we saw the way through it without the Omniscience. I just think it's enough of what you want that you would be bringing it in over some of the other cards,
yeah. I
namely
also like
potentially the fast
Pyroclasm,
mana or the
actually.
forces. Yeah, Force of Will is not great in this matchup, honestly, because you're going up against this deck with so many discard spells. Um, and again, some of your key cards being ones that you don't worry about. Your real cards that you can force and be really happy about it are really like Vampire Hexmage if they're threatening combo, or the or Liliana in my opinion. There's some potential, like I don't think you bring in Blood Moon, but you could reasonably potentially do it if you're afraid of like them fast comboing you. I don't think that's right at all. You're not going to be cutting them
No,
off on
I don't
mana,
think it's right
but
either.
someone
There's too many
potentially could.
swarms.
Do you
Yeah.
bring in Do you bring in Ragavan?
Um,
Ragavan
I
hits
don't think
discard
so
spells.
because this is not an actual Pox deck. It doesn't attack your mana very much. So I
The
don't think you need the treasure tokens. And the problem is that if Tensai gets an early Vampire Hexmage, then the Ragavan is just bricked.
I wonder if it is worth it again because what we're afraid of is the edicts, and then also you're able to spike um handed or duress effects, right?
Yeah, it could
Where
be.
there are actual one drops where you hit. Normally, Ragavan's insane in blue mirrors where you have so many cantrips that are live hits. But you also have these thought seizes, you have the IOKs, and potentially even him if if it's hit on the second hit when you have the 2 treasures. But we'll have to see
Yeah.
what happens. Let's jump on over to Tensai's list. We did see this list in the last game, so we do know that there's 2 surgical extractions, 1 damping sphere, 2 feed the swarm, 2 null rod, 1 ratchet bomb, 2 torpor orb, 2 Ashiok dream render, 1 opposition agent, and 2 plague engineers. What are you liking out of this plan?
Um, that's actually a really good question to be honest, because a lot of the things that you really want, i.e., your split second edict effects, are in the main deck. I could see an argument for Null Rod, I suppose, but I think that's still pretty narrow just to hit the Lotus Petals. Um, hmm, Ashiok maybe, or Surgical. I don't know. There's honestly not too much I could see that I'd want.
We're seeing turn 1 dark red into
Ooh, Thoughtseize.
I
Check if
love
the coast
this.
is clear.
Let's see it.
Pyroclasm did come in. Brainstorm, Preordain, Grizzlebrand, and 3 lands.
Do we take brainstorm here? I think it's brainstorm.
I think it depends on what else is in your hand. Because if you're planning on following up with like a Bob or something, I'd probably take the Pyroclasm. But otherwise, yeah, the Brainstorm I think is correct. And this could also be a Hymn to Turok next, which it is. My man Tensai.
Go for it.
Yeah,
This is great. A classic 3 for 3.
yeah.
I spend my dark red, my Thoughtseize, and my him. I get 1 card of choice and 2 cards of random. Let's see. Let's hope that this is enough to disrupt my combo opponent.
If this hits Grizzlebrand and Pyroclasm, Tensai is beyond happy with this.
It's insane. I actually kind of want to hit the preordain, to be totally honest. Let's just
Yeah.
stop the contrip cartel. Let's see him. Ancient
Ancient
Tomb. Okay.
Tomb land. Okay,
Was
so
that
of
the only
note
blue
though, we did
source?
hit the only colored source in hand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's another incredibly good hit.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh, that's so
Flips
good.
flips the hand back up for politeness sake. Again, a lot of these players, because they've been playing together so much, are all pretty good friends with each other. So there's a lot of courtesy things like this that go on where they're just fine with it. Plus, it's also helpful for us as well because we know what is known information or not. Him to Turok again? Oh my goodness.
I love this.
Five
This is
cards
exactly
down.
what we meant when we said that this matchup looked like it was going to be so hard.
Yeah. One. There we go. And then D3. And that'll be card number 6. There's the days. So we did see
Um,
your days.
I was about to say that is in fact one of my old days. Is we got to see it. That's all I care about.
Yep. So yeah, we got Preordained and Grizzlebrand and no colored mana. So this is oof. But then again, this is exactly what Tensai's deck wants to be doing. If we get a Dark Ritual kicked Turok Dread Cantor, I will be beside myself.
The thing is, Rax is definitely able to draw out of this situation. We spiked a blue source that is not wastelandable, so we're able to. Oh, and it was a ponder in hand too. So we have another
Ooh.
preordain as well.
That
This
was
is pretty
really good.
fantastic. That was a good spike
Especially
off
given
the
that
blue
that is
source.
basic island and not volcanic island, so Tensai can't turn Rax off of blue now.
Exactly. And we have the other cantrip in hand. Tensai needs to actually put pressure on. There needs to be a clock because Rax can
Yeah.
absolutely get out of this situation.
Oh, here we go, Lotus Petal. Are we gonna crack it immediately, or are we gonna wait for a sneak attack? Looks like
No,
we're
we
waiting
keep
for
it
sneak
in.
attack. Oh, boom!
I
Just
actually
flips
think
it right off the top.
I actually think him is the one potential reason to keep Lotus Petal in, so you're able to potentially keep Threat or Cantrip because
Yeah,
both of those cards are better than the Lotus Petal here. But spiking Ponder off the top, like never
yeah,
fun
and
to
again,
do.
that Ponder was known information too, right? Because Rax did see 3 cards and kept all 3 of them,
Yep.
drew the Lotus Petal, and then went through and yeah, that Lotus Petal was actually really good now rather than keeping it in hand because Rax has lost 7 cards in hand already just from Tensai discarding stuff. And this is a shuffle off this ponder. This is not where Rax wants to be.
I mean, depends on what you think about it. That Ponder got rid of 3 bad draws off the top, so
That's
like
true.
pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I just mean you're still leaving it up to fate though, because this could just be hot garbage now.
Yeah, that's true.
Basic
Other
Island,
blue
not
source.
hot garbage.
The thing
We
is,
are
you
halfway to
need to draw 2
casting
cards.
omniscience. We are
You need
halfway
to
to
get 2
casting
good cards.
omniscience.
That is true. That is relevant. That's our long game here, folks. Hold on to every city of the traders because you're just going to like you just want to play those towards the end.
Yeah. Dark Depths.
Slow depths plan. Here's the thing: because of the Cabal pit, we are going to take.
Oh
Oh
my god. Get it. And Rax is also hellbent too, so you don't have to
Rax is
worry about
dead.
any
This
counter
game's
magic
over.
here.
This game's over.
Yeah,
There's
there's
no
nothing that you
interaction,
can draw.
and there's absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
It's over.
draws land and proceeds to Merit Lage in the face, which is a bingo square, by the way.
But we've seen a lot of Merit Lages and Emrakul's killing people here today. I think that bingo square has already been held up, but that was sick. I mean, we
Yeah.
got to see just how amazing it is to stymie all of the sneak and show opponents' resources, right? Just like 3 hymns, 3 turns in a row. It's like you have nothing. You're top decking. And all that it takes is us putting the threat in play. Also crazy, we got to see how good the turbo build is, where you just need the 2 turn combo, or I'm sorry, the 2 card combo that costs 2 mana to put in play and a land drop. Like you go from a board state where you're like, well, we have there's no threat. Like we can just draw out of this to oh no, this is an immediate threat. This is
Yeah.
a 2020. I'm dead next turn.
Tensai told me earlier, or sorry, AHG, who Tensai played round 1, told me that one of their games was Tensai on the play going Chrome Mox, imprint a card, cast Dark Ritual, Vampire Hexmage, play Dark Depths land for turn, pass.
Turn 1 Merit Lodges are good.
Yeah.
We see Malfi's lands deck up in front of us right now. That of course is happening down in one of the lower brackets at the moment. Do you think sideboards changed at all from what we saw? We did see the Pyroclasms come in. I think that was the only sideboard card that we had talked about. All that was the only card that we saw.
Yeah,
Didn't
the
see
Omnisciences and the Pyroclasms, I think, are what you would want. I think that you'd still probably keep the plan the same. Like your Fluster Storms are just not going to be good enough here. Grafdigger's Cage is functionally nothing. Ragavan is too small, gets bricked too easily. And a Braid would only be hitting the creatures, and I think I'd rather have the Pyroclasm because every creature in Tensai's deck, other than Turok, if it hasn't been kicked, will die to a Pyroclasm anyway.
See, I'm still on like I really think Ragavan is actually good for you. Ragavan is what Ragavan's able to do is also is be a body, especially when you're on the play, be a body on board that prevents edicts from locking from actually interacting with your main combo. It's also able to attack to produce mana, especially on that early turn one. If you're playing it on turn one, your opponent with this known list needs to do a dark ritual or chrome mox play in order to get out something that's able to block it. But is also able to spike the discard effects, which I just think is massive. Right, you're able to spike and hit your opponent's Liliana. I can totally understand not bringing it in. I just still think that like it is potentially reasonable. The only thing that that Tensai has in the list that actually stops the Ragavan without trading is Vampire Hexmage, right?
Yeah.
And a kicked Turok specifically, but that's a 4 mana play. But like Dothi isn't going to block it. Dark Confidant trades with it, and I think you're happy with that trade anyway. But
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll honestly have to see. You think that Tensai's sideboard changes all around it all? Anything different from
Um,
what we predicted?
no, not really. Honestly, I think that the deck is just fine, honestly, as is. Um, yeah, I really don't think this is anything you'd really want. Maybe Ashiok or Opposition Agent, and if you feel like you can try and get in before those fetch lands go off, but that's still pretty narrow in my mind.
Total side tangent. We have Chaotic Bear RTO watching some of the matches in the lower bracket, watching the Malfi lands versus
Pain Cow Prison.
the colorless prison deck. Apparently, this match right now has Malfi counting his library just to see how many turns he has before he decks. That's pretty good. That's awesome. They are still in game one. We are definitely going to have a match to watch after this one. Let me tell you.
Yep. Of note as well, I know I was super hyped on it earlier. Pain Cow in his artifact stacks list is still live.
I would love to see it in the finals. Like
Oh my god.
honestly, I know I'm
That list is
biased for Rax,
wild.
but I'm biased for Rax because of both the dazes and just like I would love to see Rax taking it down after how
Yeah.
many invitationals they've been here
5
for.
times.
Five times every single invitational, with potentially missing the invitation number 3. We don't quite remember. We really need to take on a staff member to just be the invitational historian, be the be our analog to the Pro Tour historian that they had when Pro Tours was still a thing. Uh, we'll have to see though. I don't know. I'm honestly at the point where all of them are starting to gel together. It was so much easier to remember everything. We were just on like 3 or 2, but whatever. We'll make it. We'll get there.
Yeah, for
Rax
sure.
keeping 7, Tensai going down to 6. This is okay, of course. Tensai is on the draw. This isn't too much of a death knell. It is scary to see Rax keeping a 7 with this deck, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, exactly.
This, of course, also though, this isn't a matchup where Rax can mulligan as freely as they normally would be able to because you're going up against this deck with so many turn 1 Thoughtseize effects.
Yeah.
You just keep like if you just have a 7 with lands and cantrips, you just keep it every single time. Like you
Yeah.
don't want to get aggressive and be looking for a racing hand.
And also of note, this is still the upper bracket, meaning both of these players still have not lost a match yet. So even if whoever loses this match is still live.
That's very true. All right, let's see. Tensai choosing whether or
Oh,
not to keep.
here we go. So we just got a report in. AHG on Ruby Storm is still alive, knocking Hovercraft out.
Man, big congrats to Hovercraft for making it this far in the event. Thank you so much for playing
Yes,
with us for these last 4
fellow
rounds.
countrymen, thank you.
Unfortunate when we have people starting to get dropped off and kicked out of the lower bracket, but man, Ruby Storm is advancing, and we will for sure be watching Ruby Storm play next round.
Yep. Which, for those who listen to the podcast, I did mention, I think if Ruby Storm can get the right matchups, I think that because it is the only very fast spell based combo deck here today, I think it actually has a really good chance of just being like, oh, you can't interact with me? Cool.
So AHG, this should be mentioned as well. From this point forward, there will only be one match for us to watch every single round.
Yeah.
This is the last one that there will be multiple. Next one, we will for sure be watching AHG on Ruby Storm up against the winner of the Malfi on lands and Pain Cow on the Colorless Prison deck. I have to imagine that AHG is really rooting for Malfi to take this down.
Oh,
Uh,
looks like we have a correction. It's actually 2 next round because I think that Care and Dalibor are both on buys right now, so they will play the winners of those 2 matches.
that's so true. That's absolutely right. Big thanks to our TO for correcting me as I continue saying blatantly wrong things about the structure of today's event. Yeah, Dalmore, that just got corrected by by the good old Chaotic Bear. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So it looks like we got Tensai starting off with nothing really there. Oh, we're going for an early show and tell.
Show the
Ooh.
omniscience. Just show the omniscience.
I think that's what you want to be showing here. Hmm.
Or we just run into potential sudden edict blowout next turn. See,
Yeah,
this
and
is
this is it.
Grizzlebrand,
Is
right?
I'm just wondering if Tensai just straight up puts a land in, hopes it's a creature, and just sudden edicts you.
It's Grizzlebrand.
Grizzlebees.
Immediate draw 7. Immediate. Snap it.
Oh.
Oh, I like
Ooh.
this. I do like
Ooh.
this.
Oh, this changes maybe not much, but who knows?
Make it so fetch lands are specifically bad. This isn't an intuition build, so there's nothing that hits. You only hit fetch lands here, right?
Yeah, but it's still relevant though, because Rax still doesn't have a red source.
Chaotic Bear, you're right. This is strictly worse than Hull Breacher. Thank goodness. Ooh, and surgical on show and tell, I imagine, or is this on ponder? No, surgical's the show and tell.
Interesting. I actually like that a lot because this means that Omniscience is dead.
Yeah, that's very true.
And Sudden Edict can just clean up Grizzlebrand, because Grizzlebrand can attack this turn.
That is bingo card. That's something being surgical or fairy macabre. We did it. We got it. Man, these show and tells are gorgeous. Got that shadow sig show and tell. Man, beautiful.
Yeah, they're nice. Oh.
We get to see Ragavans are in. Ragavans are in.
No, I was wrong.
Simian Spirit Guide staying in. I do wonder what was cut. I wonder if it was just Cantrip Cartel or potentially Forces. Maybe just trims on a couple of things. Look at them sweet dazes. Wonder where those came from. Rax, where in the world did you get those glorious mismatched dazes? I love them.
The mismatched. Oh, here we go. Dark Ritual.
Into Edict.
This is still in response to Grizzlebrand drawing cards. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Baby.
This is good.
Yeah. Of note, land drop has already been made for the turn, meaning that there will not be a show and tell later on.
Well, show and
You
tell's already
also
gone.
cannot search. Oh, sorry, you can't sneak attack. Sorry. You'll have to wait till next turn to try and sneak attack. There's a Lotus Petal.
We need Volk in hand to be able to make this sneak attack live next turn.
Yeah. And yeah, Volk in hand, yes. Or second pedal. But I'd imagine if it was second pedal, Rax would have played it out. Just rather than discarding the hand size.
Looks like Rax is deciding the cards are going to get discarded away.
Yeah.
How many surgicals are there? 2 surgicals or 3 surgicals? I don't remember.
There are 2 surgicals in Tensai's lists.
You're probably free to not consider the surgical when you're or the second surgical while you're discarding here.
Yeah, I
If
think
it's
that's
free
fine.
for you to do that, like that's okay.
Way to go, though. Just specifically hitting the surgical first and then going for the sudden edict afterwards, because you also get to see what's in hand, too.
I love it. I think it's very, very good.
Yeah.
Of course, also, it should be noted, Tensai did not fall for the trap of... I guess, actually, it hadn't been revealed yet. I was about to say that there could have been the potential trap of Sudic edicting and then surgicaling the Grizzlebrand, if that was known information, but of course, that's not the way it worked. It wouldn't have been known.
No. It would have worked, though. Well, actually, no, because if they had force in hand, then you're just... So. There's another land. Sudden Edict is online again.
2 cards in hand. After that Multisix and multiple cards being spewed
Rax
on
is
the
at
opponent's
8.
turn.
Rax is at 8.
Oh
This is super
goodness.
relevant in terms of Grizzlebrand not being able to draw 7 now. Ooh.
We're tapping out. Is this a Dothy?
Him to Turok.
Oh.
I actually don't mind that. If you don't have the Sudden Edict, I absolutely don't mind this at all.
No, this is really good. It has potential to blow out. Oh my goodness. If this hits a volcanic island.
Oh my gosh. Or if this even hits a sneak attack.
Let's see. Show it to us. Show it to us. Come on. Come on. 6-4.
It looks like they were trying to. Oh, Rax has a D8, so they rolled for the first card, and then Tensai rolled for the second card.
No!
Oh!
Are you kidding me?
What? What?
Two sneak attacks. That's it.
Ow!
That's the game, and it's and the second surgical's there. Are you kidding me? So there is
What?
literally no way. Show me the hand,
Holy
Rax. Please show me the
crap!
hand. Please
And
show me
a
the hand.
second surgical.
Please show it to me. I mean, hitting either if we have the second hand attack victory. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Cast brainstorm in response.
Because
Doesn't want to
you
show
need
the
to force
hand.
this. You need to force or daze this right now.
Yes, absolutely. That's
Because you just
nuts.
lose. That this is insane. Insane that we had second surgical and that I mean it did if we had surgical, it didn't matter that it was double sneak attack hit, right? Like you just need to hit one.
Yeah.
Daze,
Oh
please for the love of
man.
God. Mm, mm. Look at that Daze. Look at it. Oh goodness
that was a
gracious.
very good conversion for that days.
Well, it's I mean, it just prevented you from immediately losing. You still
That
though,
was nuts.
you're still at 8, and the pedal's been spent.
Yep.
You need to still have Volk in your hand. Get other sneak attack and oh goodness, this is crazy. All right, we saw Volk.
Oh, Regavan.
Ragavan as a blocker.
Okay.
Ragavan as a blocker. Okay, I
There
like
you
this.
go.
The issue is now if this is your only Vulcan hand, you're exposing it to Wasteland, but I think you are priced into this.
Yeah. I This game has been nuts. Like this is a game 3.
Yeah, that's true. You also, if you can choose whether or not you're attacking, depending on if you have other land drop and other sneak attack in hand.
Yeah.
I do wonder if this is just going to end up being a chump blocker rather than a hitting pedal. Goodness, the second surgical. Oh, so crazy. It is known information about what's on top. Not choosing to not attack in with the opposition agent. I mean, that's
I
just
can't
correct.
believe hit double sneak attack.
If Rax had the other sneak attack, they absolutely would have deployed it there.
Yeah.
Just to get it on the battlefield and have it potentially hit by Feed the Swarm, that's okay. Because like if you had Feed the Swarm, you would already be spending it on the Ragavan here just to continue crunching in.
Yeah. On the bright side though, all the other future sneak attacks are live. Ooh. Days again. Just casting it.
I love these days. Love them. Of note, that last stage was the
Oh.
mismatch days. It is the one from a different dual deck, so it has the black border at the bottom. That's the ugly one.
It's also Japanese, isn't it?
No, it's English.
Oh, gotcha. Oh,
I'm
man,
not
this
enough
is
of a
nuts.
I'm not
Okay,
enough
so we
of
did
a
have
man
double
hunter.
Volk naturally, so we didn't need fetch lands for either of them.
But you need to hit sneak attack.
Yeah, and that's just it, is that Tensai still potentially could just die here. Which is super nuts. Oh, Dothai Voidwalker, we have a very fast clock now. Just casts Force of Will goes to 6.
Love it.
I like that a lot,
Love it.
actually.
Take 2 damage to prevent losing the game in 3 turns.
Yeah.
Like you need to hit Pyroclasm specifically was your only out to the Dothy.
This is a
Show
tight
me the
match.
sneak attack, please. I want to see it so badly. Crack it, I dare you. Crack it, I dare you.
Of note, though, if Tensai has to deploy an Urborg here, because Tensai is tapped on mana, right? If Tensai is forced to play an Urborg here, those fetch lands are live again. By virtue of they will just produce a mana, right? But it also means that Rax doesn't take damage from the Ancient Tomb anymore, so Tensai's got to kind of hope for basic swamps here, or to chain 2 Wastelands in a row.
Yeah. We've seen how many hymns? We've only seen 1 hymn this game, right?
Ooh, getting frisky.
Take it. Snap, take it. Show me a discard spell. Hit an Inquisition, please.
Huh.
Or block with opposition agent for some reason.
So the thing is that if you block with opposition agent, I don't know what exactly that would unlock for Rax, other than the fetch land, which you have so much mana, it doesn't really matter. Yeah,
Exile
you.
Sudden Edict would be pretty good. I would be all about that right now.
Oh, takes it.
Either that or could have Pyroclasm. Could have drawn Pyroclasm, right?
Jeez, I
Ooh,
love the
ooh.
treasure tokens.
That's the foil energy retrieval, right?
Yeah, that is the fancy one from the legendary treasures, I think it was, from way back in the day, like Gen 3 or something like that.
What
But
is
yeah, with the fancy foiling pattern, it's nice. And
I'm
we
so
exile a swamp
confused.
off the top.
I'm so confused. That attack made me think that there was Pyroclasm in hand that was going to be cast anyway to turn the fetches on.
I think Rax at this point is just trying to gamble and hope it's fine. Unless there was a braid that I missed or something like that.
But now we're dead to a single turn of if another Dothy comes down, we're dead for sure. Or now if there's removal spell, we're now dead for sure. Even if we choose to start blocking.
Yeah, it could be.
Flipping for beaters.
That is
Flipping for
relevant.
a creature to block. How bad would it be if you flipped Dark Confidant? Just I'm not gassing it. I'm not gassing it.
Yeah. Oh, you absolutely would not. And looks like it's just passed back. Yeah, so Rax isn't going to take the gamble this turn. Oh,
Tell me
man,
the
this
sneak
match
attack.
has been wild. Castle Lochthwain. Oh, that's a good black source to get.
Yeah, you need additional mana source to actually start activating it, but
Looks like he was thinking better of that. I think I saw he flashed to him to Turok, but you never know.
you gotta put the fear of God in your
One,
opponent
two,
sometimes. Just like
three,
when
four,
I drop
five,
a card on
six,
the table, I
seven.
make sure it's a scary card every
Yeah,
time.
that is a good point, Cervantes. It could Rax could have been trying for hardcast Omni and hoping to hit something relevant, but
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're 3 off Omni though. We'd have to hit City of Traders and other blue source because his fetch land is still dead.
yeah.
Or them playing Urborg. Or Dark Ritual
Dark
off the top.
Ritual.
Big brain. Big brain.
Hmm.
This is such a good match. Remember when I said that we were for sure going to have time go after this third game to go watch the other one, and then we get to such a good game with back and forth swings like this.
Yeah, exactly. Oh.
Passing
But
back.
that's exactly what the invitational's for, though, is for this amazing magic. So
Just show me show and tell, please, for the love of God.
smash.
Or sneak attack.
No fear.
So
Yeah,
now
Doc, I
we have
agree.
to have
This is tight on
Pyroclasm.
both sides.
We have to have Pyroclasm in hand now, or removal spell.
Probably.
Let's see what's on the top.
Swamp
Oh
again. Great.
goodness.
Second Ragavan.
Both
Oh!
Ragavans are out. Okay, I'll take it.
Sweet.
I love
Draw.
this. This is so great.
Flips over Bob. Uh-oh.
That is actually just scary as a body because if that connects with you a single time,
Yeah.
then their ancient tomb is turned off, which you need, or we technically don't need anymore for sneak attack. Go for lethal.
Yeah, technically not, given that there's 2 treasure tokens out. Unfortunately, I don't think that Rax is going to get up to the 3 treasures in order to scratch that off of bingo.
GG. Sudden Edict off the
Sudden
top.
Edict
That's
off the
it.
top.
That's
That's
all.
2 life lost down to 10. Draw.
Unless there's a braid for the opposition agent,
Yeah.
and then go down to 1.
Yeah. Sudden Edict.
Wow.
Sacrifice. Smash in. In for 5.
Going out.
Respect. Respect.
Oh, what a good match. The him
Oh,
hitting double sneak attacks after the show and tells have been exiled. Yeah, we just
what
see
a
all throughout the
hand.
hand. So we saw a force of will and hand it needed to be exactly Sun needed as the removal spell. Oh my goodness. But the him with surgical, with brainstorm for days, it needed to be exactly the two sneak attacks off the him because just hitting one and going for the surgical to strip the other one because the brainstorm days was oh man. Wow. That was good. Also, monkeys. Monkeys. And what a
Yeah, we did
fantastic
see
game.
Regavans today.
We did, in fact, see Regavans in play today. So it looks like it was just monkeys that came in for preordains.
I think so, yeah.
Did pyroclasms come
Wow.
out when Rax was on the play? Because we saw that game two. That must have been what happened. But goodness gracious, Tensai going on to win through the upper bracket, and Tensai will be with us in the finals. Tensai needs to be beaten twice though on this mono black dark depth pot, whatever you want to call it list.
Dead guy, whatever. Yeah.
Mono black dead guy, whatever we want to call it. By fam, listen. Buy your Doppy Void Walkers. I know I am. They're literally in my cart right now. I'm done. Like we didn't see anything happen with that game, but I just want to play this list. I need Doppy Void Walkers in my life.
Yeah.
So Tensai is going to be going on. I do. We'll have to check. There might not be much time left in the Malfi Pain Cow matchup. We do know that AHG took down Hovercraft. AHG will be taking on Dalibor on the Abzan Reclaimer list that we saw earlier. The good old Field of the Dead Thespian stage and one Dark Depths package. Then we have the winner of the Pain Cow Malfi matchup going up against Care on the four-color Flash Mob. Care, of course, lost the earlier match up against Tensai, showing off the power of Doppy Voidwalker.
Yes.
So wait, in these upcoming matchups, we see that we have Dalibor going up against Ruby Storm. That is our for sure lock-in. Who do you think is going to be advantaged in that?
I actually think game one, without the access to the Ethersworn Canonist, I think Ruby Storm has potential to just fly off. Game two and three, I think it'll be very interesting. Dalibor would absolutely know how to pilot his way out of a hole, though. So I think that'll be a really tight match. However, I think I'm going to give the edge to Ruby Storm there.
We are actually jumping down into this lands versus stacks matchup. The players do have about 37 minutes left after a little bit of a time extension that they were given. The lands deck is still in. The lands deck cannot afford to lose anymore. Malfi is going to have to beat down this colorless stacks deck. We're going into game three. This is actually the perfect time to see it. Both decks have taken it down once already. So the winner of this next game is going to be the one who takes it down. They are both on 6, and then Hain Cow is on the play. Malfi winning that game too there.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Malfi. Pink Cow's deck is so cool. I want to see that one make it all the way. I love the way that this colorless stacks deck is working. So it's amazing. I hope that both players get to play a game this time, because the last time we saw Malfi on camera was kind of a non-game there. Which, Malfi ended up coming out on top, but it's nice when both players get to play the game, which is good. Starting out on a Shadow Spear. Interesting.
So potential sideboard cards that could be coming in this game, or we might see showing up. Pain Cow, of course, is on a little bit of a Karn toolbox plan. There's potential that potentially Fairy Macabres have come in as a way to hit life from the loam. But I think that's it, right? The Tabernacle is for sure not coming in this matchup, and everything else is for the Karn board. Malfi, on the other hand, does have some potential cards we might see showing up. There is potential that he boarded in the Field of the Dead to be on the Field of the Dead plan, and then potentially Valakut Exploration, and for sure the Force of Vigors. That's probably the only thing that I'm expecting to see here.
Ooh,
Sphere of
this is a
Resistance is
good
not
one
great, but
against. This is a good one against Malfi's deck, though.
yeah,
Tanglewire.
that's quite
This is
good.
really good.
So Malfi, if there are lands in play, and we're seeing
Ghost Quarter.
Ghost Quarter. There is no waste in this deck. There is
Yeah.
no waste to get off the Ghost Quarter. That is fantastic.
Pain Cow needs to tap all of his stuff to the Tanglewire before he can cast anything. Yeah. There you go. Down tick.
We'll have
tap all
one
your
land enter
permanents.
untapped.
And pass.
Malfi will be doing the same here. Of course, we do know that Malfi is pretty stymied on land drops at the moment.
Yeah. So of note there, Malfi was trying to float mana during main phase, but unfortunately Tanglewire taps during your upkeep.
Yeah. It's just gone. We do have the trigger. I imagine we're getting Retrofitter Foundry here, unless there's a land in hand all of a sudden, although we didn't play it out.
I
So
could see Pithing Needle here, but yeah, I think Retrofitter is a safer bet.
yeah, actually, no, you're probably right that it is going to be Pithing Needle. Just like Pithing Needle
Yeah.
naming, are we going to be? Are we going to name Saga? There's also the potential of just naming
I don't
um
think you'd name Saga because
Inventor
Malfi is
Spare.
also a 4X deck.
Yeah.
Names Karn the Great Creator. I like that a
Oh,
lot.
perfect. That's fantastic. You don't have to worry about the wishboard plan whatsoever. Your
Yeah.
only fear that you have to have of Karn is Karn beating you in with three three Trinispheres, or potentially hitting your own
You
Mox
can't
Diamonds.
activate his +1 to do that,
Oh no,
unfortunately.
what am I talking about? I'm just thinking, oh, there's no wishboard plan. No, there's no activations at all.
Yeah.
It can just turn off your
I
Mox
like
Diamonds then.
targeting the Buried Ruin there with the second Wasteland.
I do as well.
Draw. Let's see if we can get another Soul Land into a 3-rock here. Nope, Saga.
That is good though.
That is a good one, definitely. And pass. Of note, Malfi remembering to take advantage of that because Pithing Needle is a free tap to Tangle Wire.
I always forget that you can't tap enchantments to Tangle Wire.
Yeah. Artifact creatures or lands. Reclaimer. Oh, and a tabby. Okay, so the tabby's not incredible here. I actually don't know if I like playing the tabby here because with the Tangle Wire, you still have to pay the tax on your creature. Yeah, it
Yeah, but
looks
you
like he
can.
thought better of that.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I
I
guess
guess
you
the
might
Tangle
as
Wire
well hold it.
one, but
Yeah, and you're going to be able to just tap the Pithing Needle this turn.
yeah. Chalice of the Void.
On one. Okay. Well,
Oh,
good thing we got the Reclaimer
baby.
down. But that turns off crop
Oh,
rotation.
baby. Turns off any further explorations as well, which is super relevant.
And then also the map and potentially Shadow Spear if it's still in.
Yeah. This saga is going to go this turn, though.
Yeah.
So we can get the Shadow Spear of the map now. And he's got 1 floating mana.
I think we get Mox Diamond because we have this Tabernacle in hand.
Actually, that's a good call. I actually really like that. Yep. Grabs the Mox Diamond. Discards tab. Way to go, Oliver.
Just show us the light from the loam. That's all we want. Get us that light from the loam.
Oh, Life from the Loam would be so gross here. Cast Loam.
And those and what we call those is resources. We now have access to 2 Ursa Sagas. We can start doing the put pressure on plan. Unfortunate that we had to do the mana floating thing with the Urza Saga, so we couldn't like attack in with the Reclaimer if we didn't want to activate it.
Oh,
However, I feel like
baby.
you just strip your opponent off lands from this point going forward. It's I think that this is over.
Yeah, probably.
There's not a single land that you can play in Pain Count's deck that will not be able to be hit by because there's a Ghost Court. It wouldn't even matter if they were basics.
Yeah.
But we will now be able to, when there are no lands coming in, you can just get Urza Sagas on the table, start making constructs, and continue doing wasteland loops. It's just
Yeah, and Crash for
crush you
3
out.
there. Man, Malfi really commanding this game very early. Oh my god.
And you have a 2020. You didn't even need to loan back. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Just
That's
pass turn.
that's cool.
Yeah, and Pain Cow scoops it up. So unfortunately, Pain Cow will be out of this tournament. Great run though, managing to win. At least managed to beat managed to beat Mystery Inc. there as well. So yeah, it's still a good showing though. Malfi or Pain Cow, I'm absolutely gonna be checking out your deck. That's so sweet.
It was
Malfi moving on though. Success story in the lower bracket, Malfi.
so Malfi's going to be taking on Care on the 4-color flash mob. So we have when we look at this invitational field of 12, it really was an insane amount of like long game land stacks, right? We have Dalibor on the Reclaimer build. We have
Yep.
a traditional green white depth splashing red from Hovercraft. That's right. And then we have this traditional lands build, and we have 4-color flash mob, with really is just another land stack too. This is crazy.
Yeah, and we also have a Merit Lage deck in Tensai, so.
All right. Rax is also pointing out something really well. So Malfi last invitational dropped down to the lower bracket right away. I think it was after the first round.
Yeah.
And then one out from that point forward. So for those who don't know, the reason the lower bracket is so much more difficult is you have far more matches to play, but then also you are playing nonstop. Tensai now has 2 rounds. No, 3 rounds to just
It's
sit
two.
there.
It's two.
Okay,
Because we
whatever.
have the winner of this next match will go. They'll have a finals, and then they fight Tensai.
No, because so it's going to be 4 players playing here. Then the
Yep.
winner of these two will play, and then they have to
Oh,
face
they
off
play
Rax,
Rax.
and then
Yes.
they have to face off. So you are just when you are the bottom bracket and making it all the way to the finals and going up against the winner of the upper bracket, you are so mentally fatigued. When meanwhile the other player has been just sitting there for 3 buys, getting to watch the stream, getting to hang out and relax, and that taxing effect can just make it so much more difficult. Let alone the fact that you then have to win twice in that final match. You have to
Yeah.
win 4 games in order to actually get it down.
Yeah.
Man, this is
And
this is gonna be really interesting.
I also just want to stress too, this is the third invitational now where Malfi's just been lose first round and just run it back.
Yeah.
So
So Malfi doing that in the first invitational, going to lower bracket and going up all the way. The fourth invitational doing that and then going up all the way and winning in an upset over Dalibor, another player who is still live at the moment. And then we have this one again. We'll have to see if Lands is able to go all the way for it. I do have to say, I think the outcome of this match that we just watched, the Malfi Pain Cow matchup, was exactly what AHG wanted to see. So
yeah.
AHG has to go up against the Reclaimer build that, while it has Mind Break traps and it has a good amount of combo hate in the sideboard, it is just kind of an advantage when you're looking at the deck as a whole. And then you get to face up against 4-color Flash Mob or Malfi, which are that same kind of slower lands build. I also think you're advantage there. And only, I think, until you face Rex, do you start facing a hard matchup for Ruby Storm. I might be wrong about this, and we'll have to see. Oh, Dalibor, that is a very, very valid point as well. That you can definitely just kind of turn off for when you're sitting there and waiting for 3 hours. Especially Dalibor for you, one of our UK players. Sorry, not UK, EU players, and then also Tensai all the way in Dubai as well. That fatigue can absolutely set in, and it can be hard to
Yeah.
keep your brain active. That's an absolute thing to keep in mind. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah,
But
it is past midnight where Tensai is right
yeah,
now. Well
so
past midnight.
for this next round, we're going to see whether we're going to be seeing AHG up against Dalibor or if we're going to be seeing Malfi versus Kara Switch. I'm going to be hopping out of the booth for the round. I'm going to go get some food in my belly. We're going to have Doc jumping back in to commentate one more time with Prez. And then I will see you guys later for the Rax matchup. Or I'm sorry, no, for the winner of these next 2-1 matchups. I can't even keep my head on straight.
Yep.
Again, if you are liking what you're seeing here with us today, and you're thinking, I want to get in, I want to see if I can get in for invitational number 6, exclamation point Discord in the chat will get you with a Discord link. Feel free to jump in. We have an active LFG channel if you're just looking to grab a random game on a random night, and we have weekly events that are firing all the time. Our weekly Saturdays, our bi-weekly Sundays, and our fun Tuesday event, which I know Prez and I are very biased for, loving being able to do that every single week.
Love it.
Yeah, jump in. It's an amazing community and a really, really fantastic time whenever we get to jam, our favorite format of all time. But I'm getting out of here. Prez, good luck in the next round. Kill it. I
You
know you and
too.
Doc will slay.
And I'll see you guys again in a couple minutes.